Hi, it's me again, I'm back. Let's talk ASAP. Do you have the time? Let's talk ASAP, baby. Hurry up, don't be lazy.
Today I'll be reacting to my subscribers' K-pop opinions and stating my own thoughts. Before we start, I would like to thank you all for 800 subscribers. I was originally making this video for a 700 sub special, so thank you all so much, I appreciate you all. And a little warning, there will be a lot of strong opinions that most people won't be happy about. So if you're sensitive, I'd suggest you click off instead of going off in my comment section. Thank you. Let's get on with the opinions. We shouldn't make weird hot videos of idols. Agreed. Especially with minors. I find it really weird and creepy. And as a non-boy group stan, I do cringe a lot when I see edits of them doing questionable things. And let's not get started on how much weirder they are when they're literal children. Lee So and Yoon Chae, although my babies are extremely overhyped, it isn't even funny. I have a strong opinion on this. If you stan any of them, don't cancel me. I feel like lately maknaes are filler members. None of them are talented except a couple like Ningning from aespa, for example. Both Lee So and Yoon Chae can't really sing, hence their positions. They all have vocalist in their positions, but they didn't specify main, sub, or lead. Because they're both F-tier vocalists and don't fit any of them, so they just threw the word in so they don't look like fillers. And in my opinion, I dislike both of their tones. However, I guess they can dance well, not like it matters to me. Since K-pop for me is more about singing than dancing, but looks like companies are scouting for visuals first, dance second and vocals last, because tell me why half of these 4th-gen groups can barely hold a note. Alright now, that was probably a bit aggressive. Next opinion, K-pop is moving away from vocals and it's hard to listen to songs where clearly unsafely sang high notes are front and center, but it's even harder to hear fans rave about sub-vocalists who are listed as main simply because they can hold a note. This is exactly what I was talking about before. What happened to vocalists who can actually sing? The fact that main vocalists are now barely even developed. Like, what was the point in training? Looks like those 2 years of training were just time for their faces to heal, if you know what I mean. Not necessarily a bad thing though. Anyway, just like you said, K-pop barely focuses on vocals now, which is basically what K-pop is about. I really hope we can get more groups who can actually sing soon, like Kiss of Life for example. Lots of people want Kepler to disband, but I hope they don't end up something like L's Up. Members like Yi So and Mashiro can join Limelight and stay with Kepler. They can have a comeback once a year. This will especially help Eugene and would increase Kepler's popularity too. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but there's no chance of that happening. Kepler is a survival show group and is temporary. They will only be around for 2 years. And plus Wake One isn't treating them that well, so I think it's better for them to disband and look for another agency or group they could join. So unfortunately, Kepler is gonna disband. Honestly, people need to shut up about an idol's age, cause honestly, as long as an idol is talented and ready to debut, I don't see why they shouldn't and wait till they're 18. First of all, the last part had me shocked. Although in my opinion, I see companies trying to get younger members regardless of talent, because some of these maknaes are just there to look cute. And to be honest, it could waste their childhood, because all these preteens are seeing all these 13 to 14-year-olds debuting. They would want to debut as well without knowing what an idol goes through. And for some teenagers who actually want to pursue their dreams thinking they're too old to audition, I feel like companies shouldn't really focus on age and only accept trainees for talent. That way we could at least get talented members and not a useless 8th grader. And for the fantasies part, I genuinely don't understand what's there to like about ITZY's music. In my opinion, all the members lack vocal training or are way out of their range. And the production of their sounds sound cheap. I don't like ITZY's music either. I used to listen to ITZY back when they were at their peak, but I didn't know much about vocals until ITZY came on when I was listening to music recently, and it made me realize. You can tell they strain their vocals a lot and they can barely support. And their bad management isn't helping. Look at Cheshire for example. Girls are fighting for their life to let those notes out, and you can tell it's damaging their vocal cords. I think maybe with better management and more vocal training, ITZY could have songs that they can actually sing comfortably. BTS definitely did not pave the way. It was 2nd-gen groups like Sinsid 21, Big Bang, Psy, etc. that paved the way for K-pop. BTS just piggybacked of their success. Now for this one. I will give my personal opinions. BTS probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for second-gen groups. I mean, even HYBE wanted to make girl groups at that time and failed miserably. So it's kinda clear that HYBE wanted to make a group like SynCid and 21 etc. And I would say SynCid paved the way, with all their hit songs and being the most popular second-gen group that is still talked about and still have a fan base till this day. Gee, I Got a Boy, The Boys, Mr. Taxi, Genie, Oh, Run Devil Run etc. are all iconic popular songs made by girls' generation. BTS made K-pop popular internationally. Okay, but 21's I Am the Best was one of the most popular songs and 21 had and still has an international fan base. So second gen started, and BTS just made it popular. Jin's debut was incredibly underwhelming for what I expected. From the teasers and everything, I was expecting something I'd like a ton, but it was a huge disappointment. I was excited for her debut as well. The teasers got me all excited, but after it was released, nothing stood out to me. The songs were forgettable. Even as I'm writing this, I can't remember a single thing from the album. Unfortunately, I think there are too many soloists redebuting and it's hard for them to stand out or be successful, since some of them are better off being in groups. And Jinny suits to be in a group more. As long as an idol is not a criminal, I couldn't care less that there were a bad person in real life. Their job is to be entertaining and dance, since, well, that's it. I'm not sure if you're talking about being problematic or just genuinely having a bad personality. However, I'll have to disagree with both of them if you're talking about being problematic. Because they're an entertainer doesn't mean it's a token for them to throw words around and mock other races or religions. Look at Jay Park or Jessie, for example. Yikes. But somehow even idols who were criminals or done crimes before still somehow have a fan base. I'm looking at you, Chae Young. An idol being from SM does not mean that their vocals are automatically heavenly. I'd have to disagree. SM has the best vocalists, and you barely find any idol that lacks vocals under SM, as they actually focus on their vocals. Even the rappers under SM are trained to be vocalists as well. I wouldn't say that every single idol under SM has a heavenly voice, but they do have really good vocalists. Blackpink doesn't deserve being the best K-pop girl group. I would say being the best group is more an opinion rather than a fact, because each person has their own opinions of best girl group. For example, someone would think Twice is the best girl group while the other thinks it's Red Velvet, and somebody else would think it's Blackpink. Blackpink might be labeled as best girl group a lot because they are the biggest, which is understandable. Although I'm a Blink, I do find some other groups better. G-Idol's fanbase got really bad fast because their fans keep acting like they're the absolute best and not like other groups since they produce, write, etc. Keep in mind that they aren't the only ones who do. Also, their concept is not as quirky as their newer fans make it out to be. I'm glad I'm not the only one who noticed Neverlands aren't as peaceful as they used to be, especially newer Neverlands who started standing recently. I've seen so many Neverlands arguing about how G-Idol is superior because they produce. I mean, yes, that's a great thing obviously, but so many groups write their music as well. And most of the time companies refuse to let their artists write. And for the concept part, I agree too. They act like G-Idol concept is unlike other groups, even though I really like their concepts. I don't like how Neverlands over-exaggerate. And I also agree with their music downgrading. I didn't even know they had a comeback recently until I saw their TikTok, which from what I heard, isn't really that good. Anyways, that's it for this video. I definitely wanted to go through all of your opinions, but this video would have been much longer. Thank you for all your submissions. Let's talk about your opinions in the comments, but without fighting, of course. Some underrated groups and groups you should stan.